Tonight's topic is transportation. I had to bring something just in case my assistants didn't help me out, but my assistants came through. So what I did is I brought this, and I brought some places where I've got my plans, but we'll talk about this later. What I want now is my assistants to do this, to come up. I want them to come over here, and you're going to stand over here and make sure you place your object on this table, i.e. if this is your object, you place it on the table, and if you want to turn it, you do this. Don't do this and this, okay? Just turn it like that. Otherwise, you will be running the camera. And explain what I'd like you to do. Explain what it's made from, maybe where the pattern came from, maybe approximately how long it took to make. If you've got parts from someplace, wheels or something, explain that. But just kind of explain to them so people might think about making it. Then, i.e., after this is over, if you need more information, you could go see that person and make, because a lot of this stuff, to be honest with you, I'm not being belittling anything, a lot of it doesn't take that much time or materials. You probably got the materials in your shop already for some of them. Okay? And we'll start with you, Mr. Ralph.
Mr. You. Mr. You. Hey, you. These were ones Jerry brought in some that he got the plans for, and then we got the plans from him, and then we went and got another copy of the magazine. But it was
Don't get too much up there, Rob. Don't get too much up there. You might have to put it up there and take it down, because my cameraman's going to get real upset.
You good with that?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, they were made out of, this is so you can dump things. Two-sided tape. Anyway, we were doing this at the last minute today. So, anyway, you start off with a basic truck, and see, that's why I did that, so you can see the basic truck. You can put whatever you want on it. We changed that. The original pattern, we started off with 2x4s using pine. It looked okay. But then we wanted to paint it and all this other stuff, so instead of having to paint it, we decided to go ahead and make it. I had all kinds of scraps out of oak and walnut and different things. So this one, it's mainly made out of oak. This, we made it out of just regular pine, or wasn't pine, it was maple. Maple. We did it like that. Each one's going to have this and then a backing board, so we can put this on top of here afterward, and we're going to change it to whatever you want. We had a real good time. Can you focus in on that?
It picks it up really well. You had somebody that was doing that. Look at the laser cutting that they did on it.
Larry was having a great time, putting little decorations on that. And we got another one that's put on there. And what do you have on the top?
That's Ford.
On the top, I can't read the top one good. Anyway, but while we were making these, I've got a lot of scraps of wood, but to the wheels and stuff, I've got 2 full drawers and a filing cabinet full of nothing but wheels and parts and spindles and things like that. So when we got ready to do this, we thought we were all set, and we go out, and that was 1.25 inch wheels. I couldn't find any. I found like 10, and we wanted to make a bunch. So we went out and ordered. We ordered 300 wheels, and then I found another container that was Rubbermaid thing about that big, that had like 100 of them in there. So now I have about 400 of the wheels for there. So let me stick this one away.
Everybody knows wheels.
Yeah. Well, the plans itself had the main body like this, and then you adapt the back. You have, the version like this, you have one that has a tow hook and stuff like a tow truck. And then we figured this one, we just make it as a flatbed.
I've got the plans here if anybody wants to look at them.
Good. You were supposed to come over and help us with this. We didn't know what we were doing, so. Let me set these aside now.
That's the second half of them. Correct.
That's where I'm
Yes.
I was trying to find where that.
Yeah, it's out of Woodcraft magazine.
I really like the
guy who
plans.
did it was there at Woodcraft a few weeks ago and did a demonstration on making them. It's a bit of an odd duck, but he Yeah.
It was actually easy to make. If you're making one, it's almost not worth it. So if you want to make 40 or 50 of them, or 10 or 20, it's great because you set up and do like the engine part on here. We do the long roll of it and then just cut it into sections.
If you need this part, I'm going to give you this part. That's the one that came out.
That's October, I think October, November,
They still have it.
yeah.
Yeah.
And this was, you go online and get that extra.
Okay.
Anyway, this one's mainly made out of oak and walnut, and then we added different things on there. Larry again was doing a radiator. He put two names on it. He put Ford on it. He put Austin because that was my last name. I had a bunch of Austin emblems when we were over in England. I went to a junkyard and I pulled all these emblems off of Austin cars. So I've got like 20 different types of emblems and stuff. We couldn't make that for the front there, but anyway, that was the car here. This one was another one, just different of the stake type, you know, with the flatbed. The thing is, you can adapt it to whatever you want in the back. I really like having the little pillars in there.
Oh, thank you.
So let me stick these
And
aside.
one more thing, I think, Stuart helped me out. Wasn't it like the first meeting in December? You guys will be you and Larry are going to be showing how to do that?
December 5th.
December 5th.
The laser engraving.
December 3rd, okay? So they're going to come in. And this laser, guys, if you hadn't heard it, less than $100. What they're doing. It only does small stuff, but it would be great for turning labels. I'm close. It's less than between 75 and 125, depending on when you bought it and where you bought it and whatever. But it only does small stuff, but it will do round stuff because we've seen stuff he did with a pen, engraved a name on it. You know, it's not a big industrial one, but it does some neat stuff like that.
It can do a 2-inch by 2-inch square.
And pass this stuff around if you want.
Okay, pass
Anyway.
it around.
Where did you get it?
Where do you get it?
Tell you on December 3rd.
Just order it online.
They'll tell you on December 3rd. You got to come on December 3rd. Keep going.
Okay.
Don't tell them anything. Make them come.
Make them come on December 3rd.
These are ones that I made for old craft shows and stuff. It took like, you know, maybe, you know, 10 minutes at the most for each one. And the kids really like this better than the small ones. You know, I made some that were more detailed, something like these, and I like them. But when it comes time for kids, they want something big they can hold on to. And this was just an idea for that. And if you got little kids, my grandkids are growing up. I wish I was doing this back when they were smaller. I have made several of them for a couple of them that are now too old for them. But anyway, it doesn't take anything because you just take a 2x4 and just use your imagination. You know, you can make whatever you want on it. So, like I said, it was a really fast, you know, something to do for the kids.
And in Rob's case, he probably did those on a bandsaw. I'm just
Some of it, majority of it,
Yeah.
the wheels did not get done, or the windows, I couldn't do the inside.
Yeah.
That's it for Meier. You want me to bring it over to? All right. These started out because this was from a 2x4 contest. This was from a 2x4, and that was the first one I made. And I go, well, this is fun. And then we ended up making a lot more after that. You
That
know,
was a Saturday over his shop. We made planes.
and they don't go anywhere, but you can spin that if you're careful. Anyway, that was something. I really had a good time making it. Marcus came over, we made some with him and some other people. And I've gotten my grandson to see, have them hanging from the ceilings and stuff like that. It's not a great toy. It's not a toy for kids to play with. You know, the propeller and certain things are so brittle. You have to be careful with it. But it's a great thing to, you know, when I was growing up, I was in the Air Force, so my youngest kid had a whole room. It must have had 60 models hanging from the ceiling. I don't know what I did with them after we left there, but anyway, that's those.
But see, that's using different types of wood, things you probably got in your scrap box.
And then this was from another 2x4 contest. It was a little boat. You know, what he did when we got done with the 2x4 that was left, that was what pieces. We're trying to figure, what can we make out of that? So, you know, for kids though, they love it. You know, they don't care. They don't want the fancy stuff. You know, they don't care if it was a Volkswagen or it was a Ferrari. They want something that they can wheel around. You know, this one obviously didn't have wheels because it floats. It does float too.
So just as likely to throw it across the room.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't care if they throw that across. And the last two things from our group, now that was Tom, who's playing back with the camera, Larry, and myself were working on most of those. Buzz has got one that he did here. I'll put up there in a minute, but you know, that was all the guys working together. We're gonna make a whole batch of them. I did take a picture today I didn't put on there, but it was enough for probably about 30 cars and a pile of just parts. And I put down there cars, some assembly required. You know, it was okay. These two cars, my daughter-in-law had saw this picture of something online and wanted one for my grandson, and then it went from that to we ended up making 4 of them. You know, my cousin wanted one for her grandson, Buzz wanted one for his grandnephew, Tom made one. So by the time we were done, we had a really good time, and I think they turned out beautiful. You know, it didn't take a lot of materials, didn't take, you know, it wasn't that hard. You know, so any of these projects, once you figure out, you know, what the dimensions are, it's pretty easy to do that. So, would you like
Is
a?
that something you store stuff in and,
It's for Matchbox cars.
oh, man, okay.
I have one left in my house. I used to have hundreds of them, but anyway, we gave it to somebody. Isn't yours all the way filled up? The one that you took in there?
Oh, yeah, right away.
Yeah. And you can actually, one of the pictures we saw on the wall, they had this thing like the same as this, but he had it going 10 high. He had almost 100 on each one. This is 6 by 10 for its size that they put in there. So this holds 60. But he had 100 on the thing there, and he had a trailer to it. So it was, you know, it had this one and the other part there that he's towing the one in back of it. But you mount on the wall, you know, you got to really secure it pretty good. I mean, this is only 1/4 inch on here, so, you know, anything I make for grandkids, I usually try and make it where they can hitch it to something, drag it down the street without a problem. But, you know, these are a little more delicate. These two, I'm going to put up there for Buzz.
Okay.
Those Rob found somewhere online, he said, make this. I said, okay. That's poplar and walnut. And I made one and it took forever. Well, not really,
A lot of times it's easier to make multiples than it is just a single one.
exactly.
If I was making something like this, I would want to make, you know, at least about 10, you know. Because you're going to make this part, well, why not do the whole board and just cut it in sections? And that's how we're doing this other one.
Is the one on the right, is that a trailer that fits?
This one,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's a
It'll
tractor.
jackknife pretty easy.
It's a tractor, isn't it?
Yes, and then you can, of course, put the track, yeah, there you go. It's an overload, but
You know, if we put the thing on there, you could actually tow this. Yeah,
I don't know why they didn't design it like that.
but you know, you go back to, we were looking at some books today that had a lot of stuff like this, and it was older books. They had like a drawing, not a picture in the thing, and it had all these dimensions, and you know, it didn't look real easy by the time. You had to interpret every part you're putting on there, but it was really good, and they're from like 30, 40 years ago, so you don't have to have anything modern coming out of a magazine. Try and find some of these old books. All right, so
Rob, you said you ordered wheels, where'd you order them from?
I actually got them off of Amazon. I went out there and looked, and it was like a woodworkingparts.com or something like that. But I went to Amazon, and there's like 30 different types of companies that sold them. And they have these, I've got these in 2-inch wheels all the way down to like 3/4 of an inch. As I said, I didn't think I had any 1.25 inch. So I ordered 300 of them and got back, found out I've got like 60. I must have ordered 100 bag before, and I've got most of those left over. But either way, I like having all these things around the house for when you want to build things like this. So I've got way too many of them. All right, that was it for the group we have here. So whoever wants to come up.
15 minutes.
It's just something I put together one day, mainly out of a 2x4.
Leave it down on the table, please.
I resawed it, and the engines are trimmed in mahogany. Real simple.
And this one seems to be pine, mahogany, and walnut.
No, it's all pine except for this, oh, and this right here.
That's what I'm just saying.
That's walnut.
And it looks like he pegged the tail.
Gotta have a skid. And this is, like Rob was talking about, just cut it real simple out of a 2x4, but then I trimmed it with mahogany, made the fenders of the mahogany. And another 2x4. The base of it is solid, and then I just cut the sides, glue it on, cut the top, glue it on, paint it. I think kids enjoy and go more for the colors than they do the antique look.
So the sides are separate pieces that are glued on?
And this one, I made.
Question on that one. We had a
Pardon?
question on the last one, Tommy.
The sides are separate pieces that were glued to the,
Pardon?
Bring the other one, colored one back up,
Oh,
put it in front.
you said the sides are separate pieces that are glued onto the solid?
yeah. This is a block,
Yeah, right,
and then the sides are separate, and just glue them on.
yeah.
Did the same thing for the top. And then I made this one from a pattern out of a magazine. And I made the wheels. I didn't
And
buy.
he didn't buy those, put them back up there again, please, sir. He did not buy those wheels on Amazon.
No, I made those.
I'm gonna
Just
take,
cut them out with a hole saw.
Yeah.
Take a smaller hole saw first, cut your kerf, and then cut the wheel itself out.
how many people have used a hole saw to make wheels? Okay, but it's for those that didn't, if you don't have them, it's a way you can do it. And then after you cut them out, if you want a little bit of taper, you take them to the sander or whatever. And some people, if you're making the big truck tires or whatever, what you can do is you can take them and then saw. Just go in just a little bit, and it gives it that effect like it's an off-road tire.
You turn them on a lathe and put the grooves for tire grooves in them.
Okay. But then look at his.
Yeah, that's
Exhaust.
two different dowel rods. And to make the little lights up here, take a small dowel, turn it down like you want it so you can hold the whole stick, just put it on a belt sander, turn it down to whatever size and shape you want, and then just cut it off.
Now, if these were in my shop and I was going to make them, I'd take the dowel and put it in my pencil sharpener, and then just cut it off. I'm just, Yeah, well.
This one I made from a pattern also, and it's got 3 different, whoops,
That's
we're
fine.
gonna put that in and show.
Put it on the table.
Put it like this, that's one piece, and another piece, and it's layered. But
Hold
you
it
cut
right there, hold
them
it right
all
there.
out with a scroll saw.
He was just getting in close.
Oh,
See how it's got the different layers? And you put a layer of, he put a layer of
plywood.
plywood in the middle,
Makes,
which gave it the accent stripe.
yeah, like they do racers.
So you wouldn't think about that. I normally wouldn't use plywood, but well, hold on a second. You're trying to get away too fast. Now he doesn't have the laser, so he had to cut all that out to make it look. You know what I'm saying?
Cut
And
that
then
out on scroll saw.
key in on the driver, cameraman. Look at the driver in there. He's got his feet are on the pedals. I mean, look at that. That's beautiful. And how he came down here. What's the finish on that one, Tommy? The last one you did.
Pardon?
The finish on the last one you showed?
It's spray varnish.
Spray varnish out of a can.
Yeah, out of can.
Okay. Oh, look at that.
And just take a 1x, make the bottom, or a piece of plywood, whatever, Then I resawed the sides like I did the little one and glued them on. And the top, did the same thing for the top. And the block for the hood, then I cut the fenders out separately. And I bought the wheels.
Tommy, I'm going to say something. If I saw what I saw down here, I think you're selling them at 50% of what they should be
Okay.
sold at. Don't you agree, guys? I mean, that should be like $25, and you would sell it and it wouldn't be a problem, Tommy.
Okay.
I'm just being honest.
Well, I never have done a show.
$12 is too cheap for that.
Me and Walt,
Don't you guys agree? By the time you paint it.
I've had a
and
hard
everything
time
else
getting
with it-
together on a show.
Well, that's fine. I'm just.
Right. And these were made from a pattern.
Oh, look at that.
Pine and walnut. The majority of it is all pine. Then I've trimmed it in walnut there and trimmed it in mahogany here.
One has a tire, one is a pickup.
Was that a Model T?
Yeah, it's supposed to be.
I mean, look at that. What's,
Model T truck and a Model T
Exhaust
coupe.
pipe.
huh? Oh, exhaust pipe.
Yeah.
Wasn't thinking about that.
I was making one of his first
Could be
cars.
hot.
And I made these wheels also.
You know the
Somebody
book
asked
I
where
was
you
talking
found
about
the
earlier?
pattern.
It had several that had the full pattern for that, if you want it, let me know.
Did you use a Foster bit to make, cut out the inside?
Mm-hmm.
So you used a whole, don't leave them there, Tommy, yet. You used a hole saw to cut out the wheel, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then did you use the Forster bit before you cut it out?
Yeah.
Okay. And then went back in the same hole that you had the Forster bit in to use the hole saw?
I don't remember now, the pattern tells you how, but you want to cut this hole before you cut any of the angles. But it's kind of hard to,
Now, Tommy, you're gonna put those someplace to sell?
I will, yeah. I mean, if I do a
I
show.
would say $45 or $50 each.
Okay.
I'm just trying to help you out.
Sold.
No, but I'm just saying, he's probably got $15 on him, so I'm just saying, that's not.
Yeah. I guess that's it. I mean,
And those patterns are available for some, you can find them somewhere.
yeah, they're in,
Tommy, I'm gonna take, if it's okay, I'm gonna take one of these, I'll just take this one and pass it so people can look at it. The intricacy is just don't drop it, guys, please. I saw that, Jimmy.
it may be in one of the books out there. I've got a couple of books that I get patterns out of.
I've seen the pattern, so.
I'm gonna move some of these up. You got more room.
Hans, 2-3 months ago, said he wanted some trucks and toys and planes and something to show up. And the next 2 or 3 meetings that I came to, I brought some examples with me. Where's Hans? Hans wasn't here. So finally, Rob and I talked about it. He said, yeah, that's a good example to bring in. And I brought the pattern from the Woodcraft magazine and introduced that to the group. That's these guys, examples of I didn't get around to making the record. It looked a little bit more complicated than I was
These on the
wanting.
back side, then you can get up.
But I did go, as the book said, and I built the jigs to do each part of it. It was a jig to put the front piece on here so that each one of them would come up to be the same distance. I can't explain them on that table.
But here, just hold it like that when you want to explain, because that way you get the camera and everybody can see it real well. It's hard to do.
Anyhow, made from 2x4 basically, and some
Looks like some pine or some particle board or poplar.
poplar.
Poplar?
I love poplar and oak to work with.
Mhm.
But anyhow, that. Of course, the engine was a pattern, the little dash was a pattern, the cabin's a pattern that you see in that thing. And
You made your wheels?
uh,
You made your wheels?
no.
Okay.
But that's one thing I want to point out, that I don't know if I had the right size wheels or not, but for everything I've done, I wound up with the wheels that I had to put a spacer between the bed and the frame according to the pattern because it wasn't high enough for the wheels to turn.
Yeah.
I built one and wound up, couldn't even turn the wheels.
So that's the space, so that's the reason for that block right there?
No.
Oh, that block right there, okay.
Right in the side.
Well, you just have that additional frame on your, you got one of those aluminum, high performance aluminum frames on there.
And what I did good on the pattern, I too had to put a section in there to raise it up so the wheels would turn. But the thing I liked about this, if you're gonna build some more, I personally hate these blocks and trying to cut the grooves or where the axle would turn inside of them. Steve's here, if the camera can see it, you see that the axles go into the body of the truck. And then, of course, it's cut in there in space, and it just works beautiful.
You can drill through.
All the way through, so you don't have to.
Drilled all the way through. You put up against the gauge on your drill press where you can just get the same depth all the way down the line.
Now those wheels are, you have the hole in it, and then what you do is you have a dowel that's smaller than the hole you drilled, so the axle turns.
That's what you do. You take the drill just above a quarter.
No, well, I'm just saying, for those who don't understand, you basically take, and then what happens is the wheel gets glued on the outside, and you make sure that you don't glue it right next to the body. Well, sometimes, even if you do glue it next to the body, you need to turn the wheel to make sure it'll turn.
Well, the thing you do in that is you figure out what's the right width for the axles.
And then you just cut them
You
on.
cut all the axles the same length in the jig, so you come up with the right thing. So that you know that when you put the wheels on and glue them, only one wheel on each one of them axles is glued. And when I was doing the painting of them with non-toxic paint for kids, when I went to take them apart, one of them would always come off. But it was still tight enough when I put it back on there where the wheels were hit. And I figured if kid broke one and somebody was ingenious enough to make another one, they could get it out and repair it.
Which paint, what'd you stain them with?
It's that solid bowl dressing. Solid bowl.
Now, did you use two different types of salad bowl dressings?
No.
Just the different woods made it?
This is, I don't know, it was a 2x4.
Yeah, that's right,
But it
okay.
looks like cedar.
Yeah.
I know it's not cedar. I don't know what it was.
Fur.
Fur.
Fur? Well, okay.
Because I'm saying it looked like it was two different types of stain.
Too uniform to be pine, it has to be fur.
Yeah.
How much time do you have in, say, that truck was right here?
This one?
Yeah, just as an average.
Sir, I tell you what, I worked 3 or 4 hours a day for almost 2 months on what I've got.
But he made like 100 of them.
Which I didn't know what we was gonna do with them, but I thought we'd be able to set them on the table for Christmas. I know Hans one time did a turkey and put them out, and some others built different stuff, put on the little table.
So he wants to put these on the tables, guys, and those people that have grandkids or they could possibly use them, could take one home. If you don't, then don't take one.
Now,
Which one you want?
Now, I like the log truck with the logs on it. I mean, and then here's the gas truck. Then here's the steak bed. There's another gas truck, and then here's a dump truck. And if I think I can say this is the same as Rob's, cameraman, if I can do it. Everything from here up is the same. He's just changed the backs.
Those are just some of the examples that was in the article in the magazine.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, it gives you the ability to make them all make all the pieces, and like you said, make the jigs so you can cut them all and cut all your pieces, and then you create basically the truck body, and then you can make it whatever it needs to be, or whatever you want it to be.
And this one here, Steve,
You could do the same thing with, right?
well, the thing is, the width that he had for the fenders was a 1/4 inch wide. And I stuck it up, so I cut out a bunch of them and put them on the side. I looked at that don't even look proportional to me. So I went and used the same fender that was on these, and it, to me, it looked a lot better. The little car which goes with the truck. And the other thing I ventured into was, he said airplanes. This again is our Steve Good modified pattern. Steve's pattern only had these little things here sticking down from it, with no wheels on it, no nothing. It just that running along, sliding along the floor. So I went and got ingenious, and I had some of these axles that has the hubs on them, and I just drilled it out. The hole was right in all this pattern to do it. Just cut it and made that, and then the wing, according to his wish, this thing left the wing sticking out past the body of the plane on the bottom, so I had to modify that a little bit to get it to work. But I enjoyed it.
Where'd you get the little wheels, Jerry?
Huh?
The small wheels?
Yeah.
You made those?
No.
No, American parts.
No. I made the truck tires like it's on that. I took that on my lathe. I got quite a few of them, dual ones, single ones, and stuff like that. I have a curio full of stuff at home. My wife said, there's not 2008 to now, your toys. I told some of the kids, they don't believe me. I said, when I was raised up on the farm, and the toys that I had was corn cobs, and playing in the dirt where the chickens watered and stuff. I never had a toy till I was almost 12 years old. And to me, to get to play with these things and build them and stuff, I really enjoy it. I got a bunch more. I don't know if I've got enough for the party or not. If somebody can come up with a number, more than welcome to use them.
I think you're fine. We appreciate it. And the other thing is remember before you take it down, remember when you're making it, like in his case, and I'm going to do it a little bit more. In his case, remember, he finished it with salad oil. So if the kids eat, what I'm saying, it's a big thing out there if you're in the process of selling them or giving to people, because of sometimes the age or whatever is, you want to make sure where the wood came from and what it's finished with. So in his case, he used salad oil. In my case, I used mineral oil and beeswax.
This is acrylic oil paint that I got from Michael's. It's non-toxic. It's also for kids, if they happen to chew on it, peel it off, it won't hurt them.
And if you need something you don't have it, you can always use Crayola crayons, Crayola markers. You know, if you needed some color just for a band or something, you could use that. I'm just trying to add, if I can, to that. Thank you. Who's next?
Jerry.
Roll.
Yeah.
Your oil. You said you use salad oil, just like regular.
No.
No.
It's they have
Salad bowl finish, like when you're turning.
Yeah.
Turning.
Yeah.
And it was weird because I saw the two different colors and I thought he had two different shades.
Just due to the wood or something.
Thank you.
Thank you.